Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman. We got some breaking news for you guys as the Chicago Bulls have traded Lonzo Ball to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Issac Okoro, a shocking move that I did not see coming. Obviously, Joe Cowley reported on draft night day one that the Bulls were shopping either Lonzo Ball or Coby White, and it looks like Lonzo was the guard to get dealt here. So we're breaking down this trade. What does this mean for the Chicago Bulls? Why I think they made this move. You're adding another good young piece, a solid defender, but where does he fit into the rotation? We'll also talk about does this mean a Coby White trade is now dead? We'll break it all down here on today's show. But before we do so, if you guys could hit that subscribe button today. We're actually closing in here on 12,500 subscribers. So if you guys have not already, hit that subscribe button. Help us grow this channel here at Chat Sports. Free, easy way. And plus, you guys will get Bulls content throughout this whole crazy summer here in the NBA. So the Bulls, just a straight-up trade with the Cavs. Lonzo Ball for Issac Okoro. And clearly the Bulls are trying to build a roster where mainly the guys around Josh Giddey, their role is to defend. And, I'm not saying Lonzo obviously is not a good defender, but he's not the defender he once was. And Issac Okoro, that is his calling card. That's why he's in the NBA. He's a solid defender. He's got good size. He's also 24 years old, and he's also a good athlete. So, again, the Bulls leaning into these players who can get out, run in transition with Josh Giddey. I mean, that's why they drafted Issac. They want more athletes. They want more guys that are going to run here in transition with Josh Giddey leading the way. Now, I don't think Okoro will come in and start unless Coby White gets traded, but even if Coby does get traded, I think Io will slot into that starting lineup. But I think this is just another guard for the Bulls to have off the bench, another solid defender. I'll tell you what, him and Io coming off the bench, that's a pretty damn good guard tandem, especially on the defensive side of the floor. Now, even if they keep Coby White, I wonder if they would possibly move him to the bench and then you slot in Io or Okoro in the starting lineup. Then you obviously have Josh Giddey being that primary ball handler, offensive-minded guard with a defensive-minded guard right next to him. But more on Okoro, not a good offensive player. He did shoot the three ball well the last couple of seasons. Back in 23-24, he was actually playing about 28 minutes a night for the Cavs, averaged 9.5 points per game. He was shooting 49% from the deck. He shot 39.1% from three that season, 3 boards and 2 assists per game. But this past season, his role was reduced a little bit with guys like Ty Jerome stepping up for Cleveland. He kind of fell down in the rotation, but he still was able to average 19.1 minutes per game on a team that won 64 games this past year, 6.1 points, 46.4% from the field, and he actually shot 37% from three. Now, the one downside about Okoro is in the postseason, he has not played his best ball. He has played a total of, or an average of 18 minutes a game, only averaged 5 points per night, shooting 29% from the three-point arc. So obviously his shooting takes a hit in the postseason, but I still think this is just a move for the Bulls where they're trying to get different archetypes around Josh Giddey. This is just like a clear, and this offseason is so funny. We were even debating if the Bulls should bring Josh Giddey back. Like, he will 100% be back. He is the face of the Chicago Bulls. It's him and Buzelis. Those are the two guys they want to build around. I think all the moves they have made that crystal clear. Like going and drafting Issac. You could have drafted a big. You could have went and got out, Derek Queen or Thomas Sorber, which, personally, I would have rather have the Bulls target one of those guys, especially after the Thunder got Sorber. I swear we're going to look back in a couple years. He may not play right away, but after Hartenstein walks out of there, he'll probably step in and be a very solid big for OKC. But, again, point being, you drafted that athletic wing, a guy with tremendous upside, in Noah Issac, and then you also still have Buzelis, another young athletic wing. And, I know we're all so frustrated with Patrick Williams, but that's another good athletic wing to have off the bench. Is he worth that $18 million contract? Absolutely not. That still could be considered a negative asset for the Chicago Bulls, but you're getting another guard in here next to Lonzo Ball. I'll ask you guys, I kind of don't really have too strong opinions about this. I think this was just the Bulls trying to get a more defensive-minded young guards next to Josh Giddey, and I also think adding another true defender like this probably means a Coby White trade is dead. I'll talk about that a little more in here a second, but grade the trade for me. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. All right, so let's talk about this in terms of Coby White. Now, we were getting reports all offseason so far that, teams are calling on Kobe White, and then on draft night, Joe Cowley said the Bulls were actually calling teams about a potential Kobe White or Lonzo Ball trade. I'm going to be stunned if Kobe ends up getting traded. I think this move of, you're sending off Lonzo Ball, you're getting a defensive-minded guard. I think this move for the Bulls was so they can play Kobe White and Josh Giddey, because now you have two guards that actually complement those two very well. Okoro, Ayo, defensive-minded guys, good compliments to your offensive-minded guards. I would still, though, if I was running the Bulls, I would still field offers for them. Now, we broke down that one Magic offer that apparently they sent them 2 first-round picks, Jonathan Isaac, Cole Anthony. I find that hard to believe. And also, if the Bulls turn down that trade offer, I think that's a terrible decision. But if I were now the Bulls, you have a little more leverage to keep Kobe White. I would just still field offers. If you get something that blows you away, maybe you consider it. But again, the Bulls front office, they seem to love Kobe White. He has been one of the guys, and why he's a fan favorite for Bulls fans, he's been one of the only guys that has really developed over the last couple of years. Like, if you had to say, it was probably only Kobe, Ayo, and then Buzelis this past season. But besides that, not a lot of these young Bulls players have developed in the system, and fans obviously love the guy. He's a good guy to have, but if you could get 2 future first-round picks, I think you at least have to consider it, because also when you trade Kobe White, that also might do a benefit to Ayo Dosunmu. He could just step into the starting lineup. He'll probably be playing 30, 35 minutes a game. He's still a young player. He'll develop probably a lot more of his game. And also Ayo, he has gotten better every single year. He's filled out his frame a lot more. He's started to improve that 3-point jump shot, especially from the corners. And the one thing I loved, especially the past 2 seasons with Ayo, he's great in transition. He's an athlete. He's one of the fastest players in the NBA. And if the Bulls do want to lean into that, high-tempo style of play with Josh Giddey running it, I actually like a guy like Ayo at that 2 spot over a guy like Kobe White. Because then also if you're rolling out there with Ayo, Buzelis, Asenge, Patrick Williams, and then you still got Vooch there, at least you have 3 defenders who are plus defenders in the NBA next to Josh Giddey and Nikola Vucevic. Still, long-term plan for the Bulls. Who knows? You got to get a guy. And I'm sure the Bulls are hoping that Buzelis, Giddey, they turn into potential second, third options on championship teams. But you still got to go get that number 1 guy, a true game changer. And maybe the Bulls could be planning to trade or, acquire one of those guys in a trade in a couple of years. But I think this is the Bulls starting to build a young core. Okoro, Buzelis, Ayo, Giddey. That's probably the 4 that they're going to roll with for, the next 4 to 5 seasons. And, I will say it's a little sad for Lonzo. I am happy that he's going to the Cleveland Cavaliers. He'll be playing in some meaningful basketball games next season. We're going to get playoff Lonzo minutes, which is going to be awesome. But I just have a weird feeling. You let the guy rehab, work his way back from injury, and then you just go trade him the first offseason he is fully healthy. So, I don't know. And also, you would think for the Bulls, a guy like Lonzo would be the perfect backup point guard for Giddey. Because Giddey, he's going to push the pace. And then Lonzo, he'll come in and just maintain that pace. Also, Lonzo, defensive-minded guard, too. Good size on him. So, I don't know. Interesting move for the Bulls. I think they just want more defenders around Josh Giddey. And Okoro is that. Don't love his offensive game, but, hey, he played a decent role for a team that just won 64 games. So, I think he's got some winning DNA, some winning culture in him. And we'll see if he can develop into anything. Still 24 years old. And I don't know. I think this also may mean Kobe White's going to be staying on the Bulls. And, I just have a feeling the Bulls are going to be right back in that play-in tournament next year. Maybe they view the East as completely wide open and they make another big-time trade for somebody else. But, I don't know. Definitely a shocker here to not have Lonzo Ball for Issac Okoro on my offseason bingo card for the NBA. But we appreciate you guys watching today's edition of the Bulls Report. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out, and we'll see you guys next time. As always, go Bulls.